I don't care that he feels bad. This is life. You either climb the ladder or you fall down. My sister said that with a cold, dead stare, right in the middle of a crowded courtroom. She was talking about her own 16-year-old son, who had just survived a desperate suicide attempt to escape her crushing, robotic abuse. The judge looked at her with pure, disgust, and declared she couldn't even be called a parent. So, honestly, years later, when a sudden stroke left her terrified, alone, and begging our family for comfort, I didn't hesitate to give her exactly what she had given him. Absolutely nothing. Welcome back, guys. Today's post is, wow, it's from the Am I the A-hole subreddit, posted by a user called Useful Disaster. This one is heavy. Let's just dive right into the story. I come from a pretty big family. There are 5 of us kids total, including 2 sets of twins. My oldest sister is 50, but her twins sadly passed away before they were even born. Then there's me and my brother, we're 47, and finally, 2 younger sisters who are 42. But today, this story is entirely about my oldest sister. When we were growing up, our parents were super careful not to put too much pressure on us. Both of them had a really hard time as kids because they were basically forced to raise their own siblings. They hated that experience, so they promised never to do that to us. They took amazing care of us, let us be kids, and because of that healthy environment, honestly, we all grew up to have great, happy careers. But my oldest sister saw things totally differently. She actually hated how our parents raised us. She thought they were lazy because they didn't force us to be the best at everything. They supported our dreams, but they never demanded perfection. My sister couldn't stand that. As soon as she finished law school, she basically stopped talking to us. She went on to become a super successful, crazy rich lawyer. She married a famous surgeon who actually used to be a buddy of mine from medical school. Her husband was incredibly ambitious, but he was also a massive, massive perfectionist. They planned out their entire lives like a business project, and they had a son through IVF when my sister was 32. Once my nephew was born, the nightmare really started. My sister and her husband pushed this poor kid so hard. It was actually insane. She was trying to force him to read when he was only 2 years old. By the time he was 4, he was locked into strict piano lessons. From the 1st grade onward, he had intense, one-on-one tutors every single day. This kid literally never had a minute of free time. Every second of his life was planned out for him. He wasn't allowed to just play or be a normal boy. The only break he ever got was on Saturday afternoons, when he was allowed to visit my parents. During those few hours, our family made sure to plan fun, normal things for him to do, just so he could breathe and relax. Because of this insane pressure, his teenage years were pure hell. He was pushed way beyond what his brain and body could handle. Finally, when he was just 16 years old, he broke. He felt so trapped and hopeless that he tried to end his own life, right inside the hospital where his dad worked. He managed to sneak some strong pills from the nurse's station. Thank God, he survived. After that awful day, he was placed in an inpatient mental health ward. And honestly, it was the best thing for him. He finally got away from his mum. He spent 5 months in the ward, and then 3 months in a special group home. When it was time for him to leave, he made it crystal clear. He did not want to go back home. He wanted to stay with me. I'm the only one of my siblings who doesn't have kids. I live with my husband in a really big 3-story house, so I was able to give my nephew the entire top floor to himself. He needed a quiet place to heal, and we were happy to give it to him. The suicide attempt was a massive wake-up call for my brother-in-law. He finally saw the damage he had helped cause, and he realized how cold and toxic my sister was. He filed for divorce right away. After that, he and my nephew spent a whole year doing heavy family therapy to fix their relationship. Last summer, my nephew actually moved back in with his dad. He has healed so much that he even decided he wants to be a doctor. We live in Germany, and over here, medical school starts right after high school and takes 6 years. He is doing great. While my nephew was busy healing, my sister just got angrier. She refused to admit she did anything wrong. She blamed all of us, and she especially blamed her ex-husband for letting the boy be weak. I mean, in her crazy mind, going through all that pain was supposed to make him tough and untouchable. What? During the legal battles for custody, she literally stood up in a courtroom and said the most heartless thing I have ever heard. She looked at the judge and said, "I don't care that he feels bad. This is life. You either climb the ladder or you fall down. If he fell down, there's nothing we can do. Life goes on." I have never seen a judge look so disgusted in my entire life. The judge stared right through her and said, "You are a really successful lawyer. I will give you that. But you are a terrible person, and you cannot even be called a parent." Then the judge looked at my brother-in-law and said, "You need a lot of professional help." Fast forward to last January. Out of nowhere, my sister suffered a mini stroke. Suddenly, she wasn't so tough anymore. Facing her own health issues made her start thinking about her life. The only person who still checked on her was our other brother, and he said she was feeling lonely. Last week, she finally tried to reach out to my nephew. But my nephew didn't hold back. He looked her right in the eye and told her he did not care whether she was alive or dead. He felt nothing for her. She was shocked. She tried to call me to cry about it and get some sympathy. But I was totally fed up. I just said, "What did you expect, sis?" And I hung up the phone. Now some extended family members are calling me a jerk, saying I should be nice to her because she had a stroke. But here is the crazy update. My brother went over to her house to talk to her. He basically repeated everything I said, and he even showed her this Reddit post so she could see what the world thought of her. She actually knew what Reddit was. When she asked him what she should do now, he was brutally honest. He told her she needed to work on herself, and she needed to accept the fact that she is probably going to die alone in a nursing home because she pushed everyone away. She looked defeated. She finally realized the whole family had abandoned her. So, she decided she was going to move her law firm to another state and leave town forever because the pain was too much. Still making it all about her, of course. Before she left, my nephew agreed to see her one last time at my brother's house. She sat there with a blank, scary look on her face. She looked at him and said in a totally flat voice, "I failed to raise you. I gave you so much pain and almost cost you your life. I'm sorry. On Monday I am leaving and never coming back. I did what I thought was best, but I know now it wasn't." My nephew just looked right back at her and said, I know you still believe we just have to move on. I will move on, Mother, but without you. I am going to be with the people who actually love me, not someone who treats me like a dog in training. Farewell, Mother." Then he nodded and walked away. I thought that was the end of it, but it gets worse. After reading some comments on my post, people were worried she might try to hurt herself because she sounded so depressed. Because I am a doctor, I decided to call her just to check on her mental state. Guys, she literally laughed at me. She laughed that people thought she was going to end her life. She said, "I'm getting better. Even though I failed my son, he'll be fine. I'll be fine. And we will all move on." I felt so much rage in my chest. I yelled at her. I asked how she could go from begging for forgiveness to completely not caring in just a few days. Her answer confirmed what my psychiatrist friend always said. that my sister is a literal sociopath. She replied, "You all caught me in a weak moment, but after deciding to leave, I realized my biggest mistake was thinking I actually needed your acceptance." When you think you are going to die, you instinctively look for company. But I know better now. Don't expect a call from me, and don't wait for a funeral invite. Goodbye. And she hung up. I honestly have nothing left to say. I just hope she goes far away and never hurts anyone ever again. Let's take a look at what the community had to say about this absolute disaster of a human being. Commenter number 1 pointed out her crazy logic, saying, "In the area where I live, there is a ton of pressure put on kids, and sadly, it leads to a lot of teenagers hurting themselves. If the kid succeeds, the toxic parents take all the credit. If they fail, the parents call them lazy." It's funny how the OP's sister was able to become successful without any pressure from her parents, but she refused to let her own kid have that peace. Anyway, she had a stroke, right? So by her own harsh rules, she must be weak and didn't work hard enough to control her body. You either climb the ladder or you fall down. Well, she fell down, and she taught her son that there is nothing he can do to help her. Why isn't she proud? He learned that coldness directly from her. Commenter number 2 left a really sad but perfect example. She's been watering that garden for the boy's entire life. Did she really not see she was drowning the flowers? Sadly, no. Abusive parents are like bad gardeners. They think they are doing the right thing. So when they see the flower dying, they think it needs more water. They blame the soil, the weather, the sun. They will blame anything except themselves. Your sister blamed the flower. It's amazing she has zero self-awareness. Commenter number 3 summed up that scary final phone call. Jesus Christ. Is this what people mean when they say high-functioning sociopath? She has zero empathy. She can't even feel normal shame or embarrassment. She just seems like a fake human, like a flesh robot. It's chilling to know people like this walk around in normal society. She doesn't even care that her actions destroyed her family. She's just like, well, whatever, moving on. Good luck, everyone. It sucks, but it is 100% for the best that this toxic woman is out of your nephew's life. Alright guys, I cover a lot of wild posts on this channel, but this one actually left me feeling like genuinely cold. This is not just a post about a strict mum who wanted her kid to get good grades. This is a story about a deeply broken, toxic person who sees human beings as objects to be controlled. The craziest part of this whole story is how quickly the sister's mask slipped off. When she had her stroke, her brain got scared. She thought she was going to die, so her survival instincts kicked in and she tried to run back to her family for safety. It looked like she was finally feeling guilty. But the absolute second she realized the family wasn't going to play her games anymore, she just turned her feelings off like a light switch. Laughing on the phone and admitting she only wanted them around because she was afraid of dying. That is textbook narcissist behavior. She doesn't know how to love. She only knows how to use people. But let's focus on the real hero here, the nephew. Going through that level of abuse, surviving a suicide attempt at 16, and coming out the other side wanting to be a doctor, that kid is a legend. The amount of mental strength it takes to look your abuser in the eyes and peacefully tell them you are moving on without them is huge. He broke the cycle. He is surrounded by his dad and his uncle, who clearly love him and have his back. The mother gets to walk away, thinking she is better than everyone else, but at the end of the day, she is going to be completely alone. And honestly, she earned every bit of that loneliness. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear more crazy emotional Reddit stories, please do me a huge favor and hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.